the age of 19, well, I was born and raised in a Catholic household. I went to Catholic schools. There were plenty of teachers talking about Catholic social justice, but I wasn't hearing it. It wasn't their fault. I didn't catch on to it. But by the time I was about 15, I didn't have any, I was sort of like religioned out. Something happened to me when I was 19 years old, inspired me. I took Shahada and became Muslim. But some of my formative life experiences about social justice, about standing up, about doing what was right, actually come from when I was, when I had the experience of being a foreign exchange student to Poland for 6 months. We went to Auschwitz, and while I was there, I picked up Viktor Frankl's book. Never forgotten that book. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. And I would recommend everyone read that book. And then I read Bernard Gallagher's book, The Fixer, and I read a lot of books about abuse, hatred, othering of people. And when I looked into my own Muslim tradition, I looked for people who stood up against horrible oppression and abuse, and I found people like Bacha Khan, who was a Pashtun Muslim who stood with God and who really worked for nonviolent decolonization from the British. And of course, I was always inspired by Martin Luther King's example and how he drew his inspiration from his Christian faith. And just in terms of my early life, found that there's no faith community with a monopoly on goodness, no faith community with a monopoly on badness. And that rather than people who are labeled of a certain religious designation coming together on the basis of that labeling, maybe what if we got together on the basis of people who stood on their own tradition but came together for the sake of elevating humanity? Because quite certain that people like Rabbi Heschel and Walker King and people like Rabbi Steyer, for that matter, was right here with us, and people like Martin Luther King, people like Bacha Khan, and other people like that would find so much in common with each other as they talked about restoration of humanity, or Tikkun Olam. And so that's sort of like how I understand my faith a little bit. Faith should be a bridge, but so often it's a wall. So often religious teachers will actually say to the flock, the way you demonstrate your fidelity to this community is you rail against them. And the more you rail, the more you're loyal and prove that you're one of the good ones. Well, this is abuse and misuse of religion, clearly. And so I'm really honored to be here with you all today, and want to talk with you about how we advance this movement forward of how we do good by others, how we enlarge and enhance our own humanity as we stand for the humanity of other people. And how if we only stand for our own, then we really have not made good use of our time here on earth. And another challenge, Reverend, that we face, and Jerry and I and Andre, is how do you take yourself as a person of faith in a highly secularized environment like this one and still try to do good without imposing your faith? It can be done. You know, I definitely believe that if the people who are inspired by love of God, mercy, justice, humanity, unity, won't enter public life, then it will be left to people who are inspired by other stuff. And maybe we will really not like what we're giving. I'm not talking about going in there trying to impose your religious orthodoxy. I'm talking about justice, compassion, forgiveness, those kind of things. So this is what we try to use to